Have you ever looked at a rug, maybe one right under your feet, or perhaps an amazing piece you saw somewhere, and just wondered about the stories? You know, the stories woven right into the threads.
Hmm.
Beyond just looking good, what if it's this, like, ancient canvas, telling a tale centuries old, a whole narrative of nomadic life, deep traditions, incredible art?
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it?
It really is. And today, that's exactly what we're doing, taking a deep dive into the world of Persian and Oriental carpets. And we're putting a special spotlight on the magnificent Ghashgai rugs.
A truly remarkable tradition.
Yeah. So for this deep dive, we've got a great stack of sources. We're looking at insights from a well-known carpet business one that actually brings these treasures into modern homes.
Right, the commercial connection.
Exactly. And we also have these really comprehensive guides that unpack the history and, the craft of Ghashgai rugs specifically.
So blending the market view with the cultural roots.
That's the plan. Our mission today is to really unpack the history, the incredible craftsmanship, and the cultural weight of these unique pieces. We want to make this complex world of nomadic weaving feel accessible, maybe even exciting for you. Reveal what's hiding beneath every knot.
Okay, let's unpack this.
And what's really interesting about the sources we have is how well they let us connect those dots. The commercial side, how we can actually see and buy these things today.
Yeah.
And the deep, deep cultural roots that make them what they are. It's not just admiring something beautiful in a shop.
No, it's more than that.
It's understanding what it represents. Heritage, skill, generations passing down this knowledge. Stepping back, you kind of see how these enduring art forms can adapt, can change, and really thrive across centuries, across continents. They keep their essence, but find new appreciation.
That's a really important point. I mean, the sources jump right in, calling Persian and Oriental carpets some of the most magnificent in the world. That's quite a statement.
It is bold, yeah. But when they say hand-knotted, what does that really mean for quality, for value? Is it just about looks, or is there something more that earns them that kind of praise?
Oh, it's much more than just talk. It's not just about how they look, though they are stunning. It's really embedded in the process, the way they're made.
Okay.
They're known for beauty, yes, but also uniqueness. And critically, that hand-knotting aspect. Unlike something spat out by a machine, identical every time.
Right.
Every single hand-knotted carpet is one of a kind, truly. The sheer amount of time, the skill involved, the artistry in tying every single knot by hand, it creates this depth, this character. Machines just can't copy that. And for someone who really knows rugs, those tiny variations, maybe a slight wobble in a line, a tiny shift in color shade, some might see them as flaws.
Yeah, imperfections.
But they're not. They're like birthmarks. They show the weaver's hand, maybe even their mood that day.
Yeah.
It's the essence of its uniqueness. It's what makes it feel alive.
Masterpieces. That word keeps coming up, and it feels right when you think about that level of human touch, that detail.
Absolutely.
And speaking of bringing these masterpieces to us now, our sources mention a specific place, Bobak's Oriental Carpets. It's in Victoria, BC, Canada, opened back in August 94.
Okay.
And their whole thing is displaying a huge variety of unique hand-knotted carpets.
Yeah.
So clearly not just a regular store, right? It feels like a real connection point.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Bobak's, when you look at the bigger picture, isn't just a shop. Places like this are, well, they're like custodians. They keep the heritage alive and share it.
Custodians, I like that.
Yeah, they act as this bridge, taking the art, the traditions of these cultures, Persian, Oriental, and bring them right into our homes, our businesses, today. It's there at 919 Fort Street, a physical spot where this ancient craft gets new life, new appreciation.
Right.
It helps ensure these traditions don't just fade away. They keep flourishing because people value them, collect them. These places create that market, and they educate people too.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me, the family connection. Bobak isn't just taking over a store. He's carrying forward generations of really deep, specific knowledge. The sources mention Dr. Hushang Rizwani. He built this honorable reputation over 35 years in Graz, Austria. And then his son, Babak Rizwani, is the one running the Victoria showroom now.
That's fascinating.
It makes you wonder, right? How does spending your entire life around something like this change how you see these pieces?
No.
Beyond just, their price tag.
Oh, it's a huge advantage. You really can't overstate the significance of that generational knowledge, that experience.
Yeah.
When a source says Babak's been around the carpet business his entire life, that means a truly vast knowledge.
Yeah.
It's not just book learning.
Right. It's lived.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to I don't know, feel the knots and have a good idea of where it came from.
Yeah.
Or recognize a region just by the specific shade of blue. That's that intuitive thing, almost like a sixth sense. You absorb it over decades. It's inherited wisdom. And he specializes in carpets from Persia, studies them. He's not just selling, he's preserving, interpreting, sharing their stories. He's apparently always happy to talk about the historical significance, hand-knotting techniques, investment value, and overall quality. You can just imagine the depth there. He's like a living archive, a direct line back to these traditions. He can speak to a rug's whole journey with real authority.
That dedication, the education side, it's really something. But, in a world that's so focused on mass production, things being quick and easy, how tough is it for places like Bobek's to keep this kind of tradition going? Are they fighting against changing tastes or people just not getting it?
That's a really important question, the sustainability aspect.
Yeah.
And yes, businesses like Bobek's are swimming against that tide of mass-produced stuff. But they do it by emphasizing the value, the inherent value of authenticity, of artistry, of legacy, and the services they offer. That's how they differentiate themselves. That's how they help keeps the tradition alive. It shows this deep commitment. Not just selling you a rug and saying goodbye.
No, it's long-term.
Exactly. It's about the rug's whole life. Its longevity, its care for decades, maybe centuries. Think about the peace of mind for someone buying one.
Definitely.
You get info sheets, you understand its history, where it came from. You know there are expert repair and cleaning services available. And that's crucial for antique wool. Natural dyes, it's a specialized skill. Re-knotting bits to keep it authentic.
I hadn't even thought about the repair side that deeply.
Yeah, and then appraisal, trade-in options. It signals these aren't just decorations. They can be investments, art, history.
Right.
And the trial's a no obligation. That really shows they trust the pieces and want you to feel comfortable to really see how it works in your space before you commit.
Yeah.
It builds trust.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about respecting the art form itself, way beyond just a sale. Fostering a relationship with the client, sure, but also with the piece itself.
So, okay, we've established these are way more than just nice things for the floor. They're pieces of history, each with its own journey.
Definitely.
And to really get that history, we need to go to the source, to the weavers, the Ghashgai people.
Yes, the Ghashgai.
Our sources tell us the Ghashgai, lots of spellings, are a nomadic Turkic-speaking tribe from the Fars province in southwestern Iran, mostly in the Zagros Mountains.
That's right.
So how does that nomadic part specifically shape their art? And what does it mean when they're called the most developed of the Fars tribes?
Well, the nomadic part is everything. It's foundational. Being nomadic, in the context of rug making, means their whole life shapes the art. From the materials they can access to the designs they prefer, even the tools they use.
Okay.
It's not like making something in a fixed workshop, with stable conditions. This is art created on the move, a portable expression of who they are. And being called the most developed suggests, even with that migratory life, they had really sophisticated cultural, social, maybe even economic structures. A high degree of organization, a refined art tradition, a complex community life. So what does it all mean for the rugs? It means every single aspect, materials, design, technique, is influenced by the needs, the rhythms, the challenges of that wandering life. The rugs aren't just objects, they're adaptations, reflections, necessities.
That makes total sense. You can almost picture it. Life on the move, migrating between summer pastures high up in the Zagros Mountains, then down to the lowlands for winter.
Exactly.
The sources really stress how this nomadic life influenced their weaving. Rugs were essential initially for warmth, as portable furniture, and also, importantly, to show off their artistic skill.
Precisely. I mean, imagine your whole home has to be packable, durable, resilient. Your furniture isn't just nice to have, it's vital for survival, for comfort. A Ghashgai rug wasn't just on the floor, it was part of the tent. Insulation, a sleeping surface, maybe a divider, providing warmth, comfort in different climates, cold highlands, damp lowlands.
Right.
And that constant practical need, needing things to be tough, warm, easy to carry, that must have driven the evolution of the design, the construction.
Makes sense.
Each rug had to be super functional and a cultural expression. Tough enough for nomadic life, beautiful enough to carry their identity, They were designing for survival, really, and art just blossomed out of that.
And this isn't new. We're talking over 1,000 years of this craft, according to the sources.
Incredible timescale.
Mostly woven by the women of the tribe. And their unique designs, that high-quality wool and those dyes, they became really sought after. Traders, collectors, especially in the 19th and 20th centuries. That's just a staggering amount of history in one object. How did it last so long?
Well, what's really fascinating is how the rugs became this powerful symbol, a symbol of the Ghashgai people, their identity. Despite all the political changes, social pressures, everything over a millennium, the tribe held onto its cultural heritage through this living craft.
It's amazing.
It's not just an old craft that happened to survive. It's alive. It persisted through centuries of change. It tells this continuous story of resilience, adaptation, cultural pride.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's primarily the women weavers that really highlights their role. They're not just preserving the tradition, they're actively expressing the soul of the tribe through the art.
Keepers of the visual language.
Exactly. Historians using wool and that continuity of skill passed down mother to daughter, generation after generation.
Yeah.
That's key to why it's lasted so remarkably long.
So it's this collective living legacy, still going today. The sources say the weavers passed down skills, knowledge, generation to generation, preserving their unique art. Every rug tells a story, captures the spirit, the resilience of the Ghashgai. It really is like each one is a piece of living history, a testament to this culture. How does that teaching process affect the designs? Does it keep them authentic?
Oh, absolutely. The importance of that oral tradition, that hands-on teaching, you just can't overstate it for an art this complex, this nuanced.
Right.
It's not like learning from a textbook. It's continuous. Living education, techniques, patterns, the meaning behind the motifs, it's all absorbed through doing it, watching it, hearing the stories, getting guidance.
Like learning a language by immersion.
Precisely. And that process deeply impacts the authenticity, the continuity of the designs. It makes sure the core essence of Ghashgai weaving stays true, stays vibrant, even if individual weavers add their own little touches, subtle variations.
So tradition and evolution, hand in hand.
Exactly. Each piece holds centuries of wisdom, the collective memory, the spirit of the tribe. That constant renewal through teaching keeps it from being just a museum piece. It stays a living, breathing art form.
That's incredible. A continuous thread. Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts. How are these things actually made? The art of Ghashgai weaving. It starts with the materials, right?
Yes, the foundation.
Sources say they traditionally use hand-spun wool from their own sheep, known for being soft but also durable. The warp and weft the structure, cotton or wool. And the pile, the bit you feel, is wool.
And this raises a really interesting question. How does using wool from their own flocks make these rugs unique? How does it set them apart?
Good question.
Well, using their own sheep's wool connects directly back to that nomadic, self-sufficient life. It's not just convenient, it's part of their whole ecosystem. The animals provide the fiber for their art, their survival.
Right.
And that direct sourcing impacts the quality, the consistency. It gives the wool a unique character. A specific lanolin content, maybe?
Right.
Contributing to that softness and durability they're known for?
Ah, the lanolin.
Yeah, possibly. Imagine wool that's evolved over generations, perfectly suited to the Cypress Mountains climate, the terrain. It's not generic fiber. It's a product of its environment. Strong, resilient, but also luxurious. This link to the source flock often gives the wool this natural sheen, a depth of color that's really distinct. That's a key reason they're beautiful, but also long-lasting, practical for nomads, and highly valued today.
And then the colors. It's not just the wool, it's the amazing colors they get. The sources talk about the magic of natural dyes.
Yes, the dyes are incredible.
Using plants, insects, creating this vivid, harmonious palette. They even give examples. Red from madder root or cochineal insects, blue from indigo, yellow from saffron, pomegranate rind, weld, and green, fascinatingly, by mixing indigo and weld.
It shows this deep, ancient knowledge of their environment and basically chemistry, long before modern chemicals.
Yeah, really.
Think about the work, the skill involved, turning roots, leaves, bugs into these brilliant colors. It's an art form in itself.
Definitely.
And the source mentions these dyes help with longevity and color fastness. That's crucial. Unlike a lot of synthetic dyes that fade or bleed. Natural dyes often age beautifully. They get this patina, the soft glow. Synthetics just can't replicate that richness, that subtle variation. It gives the rugs an organic feel, a visual life. It's like alchemy, nature, and human skill, capturing the landscape in the threads.
That's beautiful how they age. Okay, so materials, colors, Then the knotting itself. The sources talk about meticulous craftsmanship, specifically the Persian knot or Sienna knot.
That's not.
They use that, and it ensures a dense, durable pile. And apparently, the knotting on the really good ones can be extremely fine by nomadic standards, like 200 knots per square inch or even more, though maybe 100 is more typical.
That's a significant difference.
And it's all hand knotted on a ground loom. Okay, let's unpack this. How does that knot choice affect the rug, the durability, and what's the deal with the different knot counts? Sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, it's immense, precise physical work.
Yeah.
Knot by knot by knot. But so the Persian or Sienna knot, picture the warp threads, the vertical ones like on a harp.
Oh.
The Sienna knot wraps tightly around one of those warp threads. Then it's looped, secured. It creates an incredibly tight, dense surface. It's like building a tiny interlocking brick wall, knot by knot.
Wow, okay.
And that technique, done right, gives you that very dense, compact pile. Dense and durable means it can take a beating, last for decades, centuries. That's the longevity, and it gives it that luxurious, almost velvety feel.
Oh, right.
Now, the knot count, the difference between 100 knots per square inch and 200 or more, huge. Higher count means you can do much finer, more detailed patterns, sharper lines. The pile is even denser, tougher.
Takes way longer.
Way longer. Reflects incredible skill, much more time invested. And the ground loom, that's not just a minor detail. It's key to the nomadic life.
How so?
Imagine a simple frame laid right on the earth, often taken apart, put back together when they move. That portability is why you see so many geometric patterns. Trying to do intricate curves, complex flowers on the loom like that, with shifting tension, almost impossible. It forces the weaver to be incredibly adaptable, weaving stunning designs from memory, from tradition, not complex charts. Is pure resourcefulness, ingenuity.
That makes so much sense now, the connection between the loom and the geometric style. Amazing.
Yeah.
And speaking of distinctions, the sources mention Ghashgai rugs get often confused with Shiraz carpets.
Yes, the Shiraz connection.
Now, apparently, Shiraz carpets are made in or near the town of Shiraz using Ghashgai designs. But the real Ghashgai rugs are harder wearing with a compact pile and faster, more varied colors. That seems like a really key point for anyone interested, right? For collectors.
It's absolutely critical. And it's
Yeah.
not just branding. It's a real, tangible difference in quality and durability that comes from how and why they were made.
Okay.
What's fascinating is how the place, the weaver's origin, nomadic tribe versus town workshop, impacts the rug's physical nature. Shiraz carpets might copy the design, sure, but the true Ghashgai rugs, woven by the nomads themselves, they have those superior qualities because they had to. They needed to be tough, resilient, harder wearing for nomadic life. The compact pile comes from that tight knotting, that great wool,
Right.
and faster, more varied colors. Probably means the Ghashgai weavers were better dyers, used better wool from their own sheep, resulting in more vibrant, consistent, lasting colors.
Got it.
So for a collector, knowing that distinction means you understand you're getting the real deal. Authentic nomadic craft, centuries of tradition, amazing durability, not just the pattern.
Incredible. So much meaning packed into every choice, every thread. Okay, let's shift to the visual language itself, what we actually see.
The designs, yeah.
Sources say Ghashgai rugs are typically nomadic in design. Lots of geometric and angular designs, simple motifs, bold, straight lines, bright colors. And their range of designs is apparently among the most varied and visually exciting of any nomadic weaving tribe today.
Which is quite something given the constraints.
Right. So how does that nomadic life lead directly to these geometric shapes? And what does it say about their creativity?
Well, like we touched on with the ground loom.
Yeah.
It's almost a direct result. Without a big, fixed loom for super precise curves, weavers on a portable ground loom naturally lean towards geometry, angles.
Easier to manage.
Much easier to visualize, to scale, to just do from memory, from tradition, often right there on the ground. The bold lines, bright colors make the designs pop, give clear visual structure. But even with those practical limits, the fact that their repertoire is so varied and visually exciting, that's amazing. It speaks volumes about their artistic ingenuity, their rich visual culture.
Yeah.
They turn necessity into stunning abstract art, conveying complex ideas, stories through these powerful, simplified forms. It shows how creativity finds a way, even with limitations, finding unique expression.
And they're not just shapes, they're full of meaning. The sources mention a whole spectrum. The Boteh, like a Paisley pattern.
That stylized leaf or teardrop.
Medallions, repeating floral schemes. But the most common, the identifiers, are pole medallions and the Hebatlu design, like a diamond shape, a lozenge.
That's right, the elongated diamond.
either one in the middle or repeated down the rug, usually light or dark blue, on an almost always red field with stylized plants. And charmingly, often tiny people and animals scattered around too.
Adds such life, doesn't it?
It really does. And here's where it gets really interesting. Each pattern, each motif has symbolism rooted in their life. The rug becomes a visual story, like reading a book without words.
Exactly. Each bit is part of the narrative, reflecting their world, hopes, beliefs. So beyond the geometry, you find symbols like the Boteh, often means fertility, or the cypress tree, maybe even a flame, a big symbol in Persian culture.
Okay.
Then the medallions, maybe not perfectly symmetrical, but powerful focal points. Could represent a sacred space, the universe, maybe a protective eye.
Wow.
And uniquely, Ghashgai, those pole medallions, the Hebatlu. Imagine those long diamonds, often blue on that vibrant red background, repeated down the rug. Not just pretty shapes. Each one is shorthand, packed with meaning. And the animals, the birds, not just decoration. They symbolize prosperity for the tribe, the flock, protection, life itself in their world. The geometric stuff connects to their nomadic roots, maybe landscapes, stars even, floral motifs, growth, fertility, the landscapes they travel through.
You really are looking at a visual diary.
Totally. A cultural code, a unique masterpiece narrating the weaver's life, their world, their beliefs. Those little people and animals bring this charming realism into the abstract. Makes each rug feel so personal.
And the colors themselves, they're part of that story too, aren't they? Sources say the most common are deep reds and blues, but also ochre and sienna. How do these colors from those natural dyes create that overall warm, magical feel the sources describe?
Well, the color choices are deliberate, tied to their environment, the dyes they could make. Deep reds from madder, cochineal are rich, strong, symbolize warmth, life, the earth, maybe courage.
Okay.
Blues from indigo evoke the sky, water, often protection, wisdom. Ochres, sienna, earthy tones from minerals. Plants they ground the brighter colors, create balance. Exactly. And because they're natural pigments, they have this depth, this luminosity, subtle variations that synthetics just don't have. Woven together, especially with that hand-spun wool, they create a palette that's bright and mellow. Warm, harmonious, that's the magical design quality. Timeless, captivating, connected right back to the natural world, ancient and vibrant all at once.
And finally, the borders. Can't forget the borders. Sources say they're nearly always made up of a number of narrow bands framing a wider band, and that wider band often has motifs like palm or pine leaves, separated by a narrow band of diagonal stripes. What's the deal with the borders? More than just decorations?
Oh yeah, borders are critical. Multiple jobs. Aesthetically, they frame the main picture, right? Contain the central field, complement the main story. Like a frame on a painting gives definition, helps your eye focus, feels complete.
Right, makes sense.
Structurally, those multiple bands add stability.
Stop it unraveling.
Give it a finished, durable edge. And the motifs in the border, like palms or pines, more symbolism, connection to plants in their world, maybe meaning life, growth, sacred trees. And those diagonal stripes separating the bands, they add visual texture, rhythm, break things up, add a dynamic touch. It's all this intricate dance of repetition, variation, adds depth, shows that every single part of a Ghashgai rug is intentional, meaningful, a little world in itself.
Just a complete work of art, every element considered.
Yeah.
From the sheep's wool to the last knot in the border.
Exactly.
Which brings us to the bigger picture. These rugs are not just functional items. Sources say they're pieces of art, cultural expression. The designs, the symbols give us insights into Ghashgai history, beliefs, traditions.
And that really shows how craft can go beyond just being useful. It becomes this profound statement of identity.
Yeah.
For the Ghashgai, a rug isn't just a floor covering. It's a living document. Collective memory, spiritual beliefs, rhythms of daily life. It's a visual narrative of the weaver's life. Owning one is like holding a tangible link to that heritage.
More than just an object.
Way more. It elevates it to a cultural artifact, a direct connection to an ancient tradition. You're not just buying something pretty, you're getting a piece of their soul.
And it's not only big rugs they make, right? Sources mention they also create delightful textile artifacts, bags, camel and donkey trappings, kilims, and interestingly, large rugs are apparently quite rare.
Yeah, that broadens the picture of their skills. Shows a whole range of textiles woven into their nomadic life. Bags essential for carrying everything when migrating.
Right, practical.
Camel and donkey trappings, not just decoration, but maybe identifying, honoring their crucial animals, often with protective symbols. Killums, flat weaves, used for lighter floor covers, tent walls, blankets even.
Versatile.
Very. And the rarity of large rugs makes sense too. Think about the challenge of weaving huge pieces on those portable ground looms. They have size limits, stability limits.
Good point.
It just reinforces how their craft is always tied to the practicalities of nomadic life. Makes every piece, big or small, a testament to their adaptability, skill, ingenuity.
Despite these origins, these practical needs, the rugs gained global fame, huge market value. Sources say their vibrant artistry and craftsmanship made them highly valued internationally, especially sought after by traders, collectors, 19th and 20th centuries.
It's just proof of the universal appeal of beauty, authenticity, amazing craftsmanship. These pieces, made for their own community, their own needs, they transcended that local context, gained international recognition. That global demand shows their aesthetic power, shows that human desire to connect with real handmade art that tells a story. Becoming highly sought after means their value went way beyond utility. They became cherished art, cultural treasures for collectors everywhere, a cultural bridge, really, connecting worlds through appreciating beauty and skill.
And if you really want to experience this culture directly, the sources say the Ghashgai tribe actually welcomes visitors during their seasonal migrations.
Incredible, isn't it?
You can potentially witness the rug-making process in action, learn about the meanings from the weavers themselves.
Now, obviously, visiting Iran might not be easy for everyone, but just knowing that's possible, it says so much about the Ghashgai people. Their openness, their pride in their heritage, wanting to share it.
Yeah.
It makes the idea of a nomadic tribe less abstract. They become a welcoming, living community, actively keeping their traditions alive. Imagine seeing it firsthand. The wool, the knots being tied so fast, hearing the stories from the weavers. That's an immersion you can't get from a book.
No way.
It reminds you this is a living, breathing art, not just artifacts in a museum.
A really vital point. It's living culture. And finally, the sources link Ghashgai rugs to the broader world of Persian rugs, noting that nearby cities in Fars province, like Shiraz and Kerman, have their own famous rug traditions.
Right, putting it in context.
Offering further insight into the diverse and vibrant world of Persian rugs.
And that just drives home the incredible richness, the diversity of Persian rug making overall. Ghashgai rugs are unique, with a nomadic feel, bold designs, natural dyes, but they're part of this huge, varied artistic landscape. Every region, every city, like Shiraz or Kerman, every tribe, they contribute their own unique style and techniques, reflecting their environment, history, local tastes in color, pattern.
So Kerman might be different.
Yeah, Kerman might be known for super fine, curvy patterns. Shiraz rugs, even using Ghashgai designs, have their own construction from urban workshops. It shows Persian rug making isn't just one thing. It's this complex, beautiful tapestry of regional styles, histories, cultures, all adding up to this unparalleled global heritage of textile art. It's a deep dive all on its own if you're interested.
Wow. What a journey. From Babak's Oriental carpets in Canada all the way to the Zagros Mountains into the heart of the Ghashgai tribe. We've touched on 1,000 years of history, unique materials, those incredible symbolic designs. Understanding all that, it really does change how you see these rugs, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Turns them from just objects into these living stories.
Definitely. And whether you're already a collector, maybe an interior designer looking for something special, or, just curious now.
Yeah.
We hope this deep dive gives you a new appreciation for the stories right there under your feet.
Yeah.
A Ghashgai rug, it's more than decoration. It's living history. It's a testament to a resilient culture, a unique narrative woven in those vibrant colors and patterns spanning generations, connecting us right back to that nomadic cult.
It really makes you wonder, though, how will these stories woven into ancient textiles keep evolving? In our super digital global world, how do they make sure this legacy lasts another 1,000 years?
That's the big question, isn't it?
And maybe, what other everyday things around us have these hidden depths, these amazing stories, just waiting for someone to take a deep dive?